dragon, and they essentially liberate islands that suffer under the government's cruelty and motivate the people to fight for themselves. You might be wondering why the Revolutionary Army is even on this list. They aren't pirates. And even though that's true, they are still hunted by the government and pretty much act as one big organized pirate crew. So I thought it was fitting to include them. Through their hard work, they acquired a lot of territories around the world, and each commander is responsible for commanding a part of the army: south, north, east, and west. During the Reverie Arc, they managed to liberate and arm a total of 8 nations and convince them to defect from the world government. One of those nations that was named was Lucia. However, it was essentially nuked by Emu, so I don't think we can really count it, which leaves them with 7 territories. Then there's Baltico, which was the Revolutionary Army's base of operations. But after Blackbeard Pirates invaded the island, the army was forced to retreat, and they likely lost control of that territory as well. Luckily, Emporio Ivankov, the commander of the G Army, gave his own island to the Revolutionaries to serve as their new base. So we can count Momorio Island as their territory as well. And with 8 territories in total, the Revolutionaries earned themselves the 2nd spot on the list. Not bad. However, things will drastically change at the end of the series. You see, once the Straw Hats dismantle the world government during the final saga, the Revolutionary Army won't need to exist anymore. And after they disband, all their territories will be returned to the people, leaving them in 10th place at the end of the series. Number 5, the Whitebeard Pirates. One of the most influential pirate crews in history, the Whitebeard Pirates were basically a family that sailed the seas. Although they weren't related to each other, the crew's captain, Edward Newgate, treated all of his crewmates as his own sons. Even though the Whitebeard Pirates weren't interested in conquering islands, they still had many of them under their banner. They mostly did this either to protect the island's citizens or to show their overwhelming influence on the world. Most of these islands were unfortunately left unnamed, but we know of a few that have been mentioned in the anime so far. For example, Fishman Island was previously a part of Whitebeard's territories, since he wanted to protect his friend King Neptune and people from the cruel pirates that visited the island. Then there's Sphinx Island, the place where Whitebeard was born, which is most likely the first island the crew acquired. Besides these two, there's also Fuvalton, an island shown in episode 491, which was later taken by Brownbeard. Then there's Port Chiburalta, the place where Whitebeard sent Ace during the events of One Piece novel A. Considering it was a novel, we don't even have a picture of this island. And lastly, we've seen an unnamed island in a flashback when Jinbei and Ace fought each other, which also belonged to the Whitebeard Pirates. Although we only know 5, there's no doubt that Whitebeard Pirates had many more islands under them. However, since we are only counting the confirmed ones in this video, the Whitebeard Pirates will only get the 3rd place.